Talking with Topher is sponsored by slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com, New Hampshire Vape Gallery, and naturalbossnh.com. More on that later. Let's get into episode 111. Talking with Topher. Talking with Topher. Talking with Topher. What is happening, TwT fans? It is Thursday, May 19th, 2022. And how is everybody doing out there? Let's see. I want to say thank you to everybody who subscribes, who watches, all of it. I appreciate all of you out there. Let's share the podcast more. I need 1,000 subscribers in order to get monetized, and I need your help to do that. So, share the podcast, spread it around. Let's try to get to 1,000. But I always want to say thank you to all my subscribers out there. You really do keep me coming back week after week. If you are new to the podcast, that's right, you just stopping by, you checking it out, hit that subscribe button. It's the one thing I'm asking everybody to do. It's the most important thing you can do for me, and it does keep me coming back here week after week. So hit that subscribe button. If you want to know when all the new episodes upload, make sure to set those alarms. And, of course, share, rate, and review the podcast. Always, as well, make friends in the comments. Do something in the comments. I love getting comments. I actually got a couple, and I'm going to speak on those later. If you want to get more involved with the podcast, that's right, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. It's your opportunity to get more involved, get your story out there, get involved with my stories, or give you an opportunity to win some free Slow Down merch. You just put Slow Down in the subject line, do a 60-second video, or type out an email and send that over to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And, of course, I'm on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. I'm on there every week, almost all week, trying to give some extra content throughout the week. So, again, give me a follow, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. And now with all of that out of the way, let's get into it, all right? Did anybody start their gratitude? I will be honest with you, I did not. So all I have left is this. I can't find a single one of these things. I forget what they're called. Composition notebook. So I thought I had a whole bunch of these things. Couldn't find it, and of course went shopping, totally forgot it. So I've got my pad out. I'm going to do a few things on this starting tomorrow. But I wanted to kind of touch base if you or if any of you out there started your gratitude journal. Hit me up, leave me a message, hit me up in the comments, and let me know how that's going for you. Is it helping your day get started by being grateful for certain things as soon as you wake up? I'm going to start this tomorrow, but I am going to start this. I finally get to go and mow my lawn on Sunday. And right now, I feel like complete garbage. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I have questions, right? But I got to mow my lawn. And I had to drive over the thing twice. Of course, the first time's really slow, blah, 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 taking forever, kicking up dust. And I guess I should have been masked up because this is an algae inflammation. The pollen is so heavy right now, and it's killing me. It's killing me. But my question is this because, in the beginning, I was mowing the lawn with a mask on. I was going everywhere with a mask on. And now I don't do anything with a mask on. So is it possible that for that very first year, I changed what I'm allergic to, or maybe my body was not used to getting things, and now I feel awful when these things happen because I've separated myself from it. So, are we doing ourselves a disservice? Our immune systems, I believe, are all compromised for many reasons right now, but from the separation and the distance and the masks and the plastic, I feel like all of our immune systems are in jeopardy. And I don't know this to be true, but if this is true, well, what are we doing? Isn't this really bad for us? Isn't the possibility of having it hit us 10 times worse because we haven't caught anything in the last 2 years? Is that something that affects our immune system? I'm curious because I mowed the lawn and I'm like, I talked to a friend. He's like, dude, I wear a mask every time I mow. If I don't, I can't breathe. And I'm like, I guess I should have. But at the same time, I feel like if I did that, then wouldn't this just keep getting worse? So I don't know. I'm tired of everything. I'm tired of everything. You know, I'm sick of being afraid. I'm sick of fear. I'm sick of, telling us one thing and then turning it around and saying, nope, this, and it's like, oh, get all this and then you'll be safe. And it's like, well, you don't know. And without getting too deep into the weeds, I feel like we're all doing ourselves a disservice. And I feel like the fear that is being instilled in all of us every single day is doing us a disservice. And I'm afraid of what's going to happen when we all start to try and interact with one another again without all of these restrictions. How many people are just going to get, sick from just being around people? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like me doing all the things that I used to do is what causes me a disservice today with my allergies and everything else. So I just keep putting myself out there hoping that my body will get used to this again and I can just move on from it. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking out loud, but I was super excited to mow my lawn, and I did. I got it mowed, and I went and saw my mom Sunday for Mother's Day because she went and my uncle got married in Arizona, and then her and my aunt went to California. And so they went out there, the San Diego Zoo. They went to San Diego. So my mom got back Sunday afternoon. And so I made plans to go down and see her. We go down after everything's done. And I'm talking to my dad about mowing the lawn because my dad used to have a lawn company. He's big about the lawns. We're always talking about the grass. It's like this one thing we're always bonding over, which is really nice. And he's like, well, if it was too long, why didn't you raise your mower? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, if it's too long, then you need to raise your mower. He's like, raise the mower, mow, drop the mower to where you normally, and then mow again. Instead of this putting the machine through all this stress and still having to go over it 2 or 3 times. I was like, oh my God. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that at all. I was like, holy shit. And it's so simple, right? Which made me feel so stupid, but it's just something I didn't think of. So if you're doing the same thing I'm doing, and sometimes you can't get to mowing your lawn on time and it just gets out of control, which I'm happy about, by the way, because that just shows that the fertilizer and all the seed and everything else is doing a good job. The dogs don't help, but they're not going to kill it all in one day. So I was like, oh, wow. And then I tried to tell my dad he was right. And he's like, well, what now? And I go, well, when I was spreading my fertilizer, my bag folded and it dumped a long, like it was about yay thick. And it was like, I don't know, I'd have to say 5-6 feet long, right? The bag fell and it just dumped a long ass trail of fertilizer. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, right? I have no clue. So I did this and I just left it there. And when I was talking to my dad, he told me, he's like, that's going to be dead. And I go, what? He goes, that'll be dead, because you have to remember when I laid down the fertilizer, it rained for like 3 days after, which was perfect because that's exactly what you want. But I didn't realize that I was killing my lawn. I just figured it was supposed to do whatever it does. And yeah, I got a little bit more than necessary in this one spot. He's like, oh no, that's too much fertilizer. You probably killed that. And of course, when I was mowing my lawn, you couldn't see. Everything was green. And then I mowed over that spot. There was a little bit of fertilizer still left, but that strip was brown. And I was like, God damn it. My dad was right. My dad was right. And it's like, well, he ran a lawn company. He had 100 plus lawns by the time he sold the business off and moved back to New Hampshire, because this was in Florida. So I'm assuming he has to know something, right? But yeah, my dad's very, very smart about the lawn, and he was right. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm figuring all this out. I don't know if this is because I'm in my 40s. I don't know where this is coming from, but I will have to say it was nice to get it mowed. It was nice to get it all cleaned up, and then celebrate Mother's Day with my mom on Sunday. But last week, I told everybody I was leaving so that I could go and hang out with my dad. So I went and hung out with my dad, right? I left here last Monday, and I got down to my dad's probably about 2:30 in the afternoon. And I found out so much about my grandfather. It was really cool. Like, I got down there, it was, my dad was all done doing what he's doing. I guess he was cutting some trees down. The guy's always cutting trees down. There's so many trees around his house. He's had, God, I think he's had almost 36 trees removed from his property. And I think he just had another 12 dropped, because it was just cheaper to drop them than it was to pull them out, because of the way the property is. It like goes up a hill. But so I go over there, we're hanging out, we're chit-chatting, and my dad's doing his thing, he's drinking. The weather's nice, so we're hanging out outside, we're hanging out inside the house, and, it started, like, when we were just talking about, stupid shit. He wanted to see my car, stuff like that. And during all this time, I think I stayed for like 3.5 hours. But he had so many stories about him and my grandfather, because my dad used to work on boilers with my grandfather. And if you want to get an idea of how long ago this was, my dad said they used to clean a boiler for $20, and my dad would get 10. And then one day my grandfather upped his price to 40, and my dad was like, and I still only made $10. So that's how long ago this was. I mean, my grandfather was like, if they were checking gas or stuff like that, my grandfather was checking for leaks with a lighter. With a lighter. I'm like, what? Just talking about how he used to race the Pinto. I think it was in Revere. was like a circle, he said, and a circle, and there was a straight in between. They used to just always hit that. Wow. But oh man, it was just so cool, and it was insightful. So I guess he was like a heavy smoker, which, I mean, unfortunately, when he died, Vernon Plastics was the company that really took his life. He had so many different types of cancer, and it was really caused by the plastics place, and it was just in his skin, and it was bad. It was just really, really bad. But smoking doesn't help. They were drinking all the time. I guess my grandfather used to carry around nips. And you know why this is eye-opening for me? Because it makes sense to me why I do what I do, or why I did what I did. I was like, oh my God, we have a huge, deep family of alcoholics. That gene runs so deep that there's no getting away from it. And so my dad's telling me all these stories, and it was like an hour and a half of stories. And you know what? I wish I had recorded it. I really do. I was going to record it, and not so I could have it up on the podcast, but for myself. I was like, man, if I get down there and my dad starts telling me fucking some stories about Grampy and stuff like this, I wanna hear these stories, right? And I was like, but if I record, what am I gonna do? Leave my phone out on the counter? He's gonna see it. He's gonna be like, and then person clams up, and then it's not as enjoyable. Do you want to know where my phone was the entire conversation? I thought it was humorous. On the counter in between us. It was face down, but I don't think you need it face up in order for it to record. But I do have privacy face down. I would probably had to have shut that off. But I could have recorded the whole thing. That's the point. The point is I could have recorded the whole conversation, and I could have listened to it over and over again for myself. Because now there's bits and pieces that have escaped me. When am I going to get that opportunity again? So I've just got to keep my, as soon as I can have that opportunity again, I'm glad that I got to have that opportunity to talk to my dad. I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful my dad's still alive and kicking. You know what I mean? So, but to hear these stories of my grandfather was wild, and it just made me realize that this is deeper than me. But I might be the one to break it. But I don't have any kids, so what the fuck does that matter? Right? Like, normally you break something so the next generation doesn't do it or see you doing it. My dogs don't care, So, and I'm never going to have kids. I mean, I just don't ever see that happening. But that's where I was on Monday. It was an amazing, amazing time hanging out with my dad. It was so cool to hear those stories. And my grandfather was a wild, wild guy. Wild guy back in the 70s. Slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. You're not sure how to spell it? It's right here at the bottom of the screen. Or you can click the link in the description below the video. They have got so many things. I don't know what to tell you about this website except for they are amazing. The clothing, the art, the jacket quality, the skateboards. I mean, they've come out with so many new products. It just blows my mind. They've come out with like 3 new t-shirts, 2 new skateboards. I love this Slow Down Space Monkey skate deck. It's just phenomenal. One of my favorites. I got to get one. I want to hang it right here on my wall. I think it would be just a great addition. They've come out with 2, 4, 6, 8 new hats. I mean, they've got socks and so many other things to choose from. Look at this Space Monkey. He's so cool. They put it on a skateboard, kids tee, adult tee. I gotta get it. So they've just got new products coming all the time. Of course, a lot of their summer stuff is sold out right now because everybody's been buying it up because why? We're all getting prepared to go to the beach. But they've still got some board shorts. They're just amazing. And everything from this website is high quality at a great price. And you can get it all here today. So go check them out. slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. You're not sure how to spell that? It's right here at the bottom of the screen, or click the link in the description below the video. New Hampshire Vape Gallery is located at 180 Lafayette Road, Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Ring, where we're open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. And feel free to give us a call, 603-814-4171. I mean, we have it all. New Hampshire Vape Gallery has got everything that you're looking for all your vaping needs. Menthol, flavored devices, and now we've got brand new pouches. That's right. You thought Nin was a great product? Wait till you put these in your lip. Absolutely amazing. Juice head pouches. Yes, these things are amazing. I do not know what else to say. They're full of flavor. I mean, I've got watermelon, strawberry, mint, and a blueberry lemon mint. I think these are incredible. They blow Nin pouches out of the water, and that's okay because Nin's no longer here because they have now turned into Juice Head. But if you think Rogue or Zin or any of the other pouches that are out there today, even compared to these Juice Head pouches, you would be incorrect. These are the best pouches on the market, and we have got them in stock at New Hampshire Vape Gallery today. I'm so excited. They're coming in 6 milligram and 12 milligram, and they've got 6 or 7 different flavors to choose from. This is an amazing product. We always carry our 3Chi, which is our Delta 8 line. I've also got Ghost Live Resin. I've got sauce. I mean, we've just got everything. We've got everything. Delta 8, Delta 10, HHC, THCO, THCP. Oh, it is an amazing, wonderful world out there with the hemp being legal and them being able to do all of this. So if you are looking for stuff that you just can't find anywhere else, you need to come in and talk to the guys at the gallery at New Hampshire Vape Gallery, located at 180 Lafayette Road, Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Ring, where we're open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. And feel free to give us a call, 603-814-4171. And as always, I look forward to seeing you there. NaturalBossNH.com. That's NaturalBossNH.com. I love all of these products. They are amazing. They're organic, and they're just, I mean, they're made locally here in New Hampshire. It's amazing. I love, like I said many times before, I love small business. They make a better product, right? They make a better product. And with all of these products here, they all have great purposes. Whether it's repairing your dry skin with the salve, or maybe keeping moisture in your skin after the repair or before the repair with the body balm. Of course, the lip balm is great so your lips don't crack from the sun. They don't crack in the winter. So this stuff is great all year round. Their beard oil is phenomenal. It smells great. It feels great. I did try it. I love it. And then, of course, their foot and body soak is just amazing. It's one of me and my wife's favorites. There's nothing better than soaking your feet, relaxing on the couch, and watching American Idol. It just doesn't get any better than that for me. I love it. It smells great, and it's just soothing. And you can get all of this stuff here at NaturalBossNH.com. That's NaturalBossNH.com. Buy one or all 5 of these products today. Let's get into some hot topics. Okay, so I've got a few things that are obviously making me very upset, and I have some things that I'm very excited to talk about. But let's start with inflation, right? Because inflation is out of control. I just got a call from a friend, right, this morning, and he tells me that he went to the gas station and he has his receipt, and I'm very curious to find out what he finds out. And I'm saying this so that everybody understands that even though all of us are being robbed, we are literally being robbed every single day with inflation right in front of our faces. But he filled up his gas tank. He told me he has a 14.3 gallon gas tank. When he was done pumping, right, because he pulled the thing, clicked it in place, let it fill, and cleaned out his front seat. You ever done that? I have. It clicked. He goes back over, and it says 15.8 gallons have been put into his tank. So what I'm getting at is they're all ripping us off. They're all ripping us off. And now there's a possibility that gas stations are trying to rip us off as well. I'm not saying the gas station. I believe that most gas stations out there today are franchises. They're not actually owned by the company. You know, somebody owns the franchise. I think. I'm pretty damn sure. But be on the lookout. Know your gas tank size. Know how much you're putting in. And compare it to what they're actually charging you for. I know my eyes are open now because I am goddamn no, I am not going to allow them to steal more money from me. I'm already $53 a week extra in my gas tank. And attached to my wife, we're $100 a week more than we used to be. My groceries are anywhere from $50 to $60 more a week. This is fucking crazy. I don't know how I'm going to make it to work one day, right? Because I'm not going to be able to fill my friggin' tank. So I'm very upset about all of this. I think there is a way to fix it. No, going electric, doing away with nuclear, doing away with gasoline is not the answer, okay? For all of you people pushing this, I need to tell you right now, I'm not capable of doing it. I can't leave gasoline. I can't go buy a Tesla and have a charging station put into my... I can barely afford to put a fucking roof on my house that is due for a roof. One, because I'm fighting with the solar panel company. That's a different story. But two, because it's so expensive for a roof now. My roof went from $15,000 3 years ago to $30,000 today. How the fuck am I supposed to put a roof on? So everybody out there being like, we need to go electric, we need to do away with nuclear, we need to do, this is going to save the planet. No, it can't be done immediately. There's absolutely no physical way for everybody to get on board with that. So again, we need to use our own resources. We need to start building a refinery place for the diesel and the fuel. And then the one that burned down, fucking fix it. Put it back together. Figure it out. We need to focus on what's important. And what's important is bringing down these prices, getting formula on the shelves, and having as much produced in this country as possible. That's what I believe. I think that is going to change the course of everything. All right, so getting into the shootings. And I'll try to be brief on this because it is very sad. It's very, very sad. But it's not the gun's fault, right? These people are sick. And I don't think it's just them being sick. No. These people probably, now I'm not speaking for any individual instant that happened, because there's multiple ones every single day. There's so many of them that I just move past them now. Literally 2 to 3 shootings a day, whether it's a mass shooting or a single. Doesn't matter. There's 2 or 3 of them a day now. It's so disturbing. But here's what I'm thinking. This is not because of the guns, right? We need the guns because that keeps our government in check. Without the guns in our hands, our government can just do whatever they want. They can walk all over us. Look at North Korea. Look at Australia. They have no weapons. They have no say. So what the government says goes. That's wrong. And I do believe that with our amendment to bear arms, right, we keep our government in check. Because they can't just, whatever, without us fighting back. So we can't get rid of the guns, because then our government will just do whatever the fuck it wants. And we don't have a say. So the guns are not the problem. But I talked about it many months ago. What's happening is we are seeing the breaking points. No pun intended. I love breaking points, by the way. Great place to get your news. Check them out. But you're seeing people break. These are people that were probably hanging on by a thread. And now they got nothing to live for. What if they lost loved ones to COVID? They weren't capable of getting a job. They weren't capable of doing this. They're now living in their car. Now, granted, a couple of the shootings, one of them has been labeled racist. I'm not really talking about that one. If it was a racist act, I still think that person, I think the people, can't, I mean, what do you do? What do you do? I don't think he deserves to live. I don't think a person like that deserves to live. I'm sorry. I don't. I have no sympathy for that person. That person had a target of innocence and people of different color, and it was just horrific. I don't understand this anymore. I don't consider myself to be a racist person, but that in itself, I guess today, is looked at as racist. So I don't know what to say. So I'm not talking about that one, but I'm talking about all the other ones, these school shootings and kids getting bullied and all this stuff. I think we're seeing the effects of all the lockdowns, of all the shit that happened with places closing and people losing their business, and then they lose their loved ones, and then they lose. They don't see any winning in sight. So why am I bringing all that up? Because this is going to get worse. What did I say a couple months ago about the financial tidal wave that is going to crash into us? It's here. I wasn't expecting the inflation part of it. I was expecting more of lack of money, right? But I guess we are in that because of the inflation. And that has me scared. I'm like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? We got to keep trying. We got to keep pushing through. We got to keep doing all this stuff to try and get ahead of it. But not everybody did what I did. Not everybody did what other people did. A lot of people were dependent on this entity to help them. And now it's not. So I believe that we're seeing all of this today because of everything our government has done up to this point, which, if you want to look at the facts, has been horrible. They're not helping us, and they don't care. So, all right, let's have some fun. Johnny Depp and Amanda Heard trial. Has anybody been watching this? I have been keeping up with it here and there, probably very little. But what I have seen has been extremely comical and has also shown me what a great actor Johnny Depp is. The way he speaks, the way he directs the jury, just everything that he is doing is so superior to her. And I mean, I don't even understand how she won the lawsuit in Europe, I think it was, or why they had a lawsuit in Europe and now they're having one in America. But my God, man, if you do not believe this man, I was like, how can you not believe him? And was she snorting coke right there on the stand? I think everybody's crazy because I do this all the time. It opens up your nasal passageway and allows you to just, maybe she had a giant booger that she couldn't blow out. Everybody's like, she was doing coke on the stand. Who the fuck is going to do coke on the stand in front of a judge? What? You're that addicted that you think you can get away with doing coke? I mean, I don't think she was doing it, but that's the narrative. Everybody's like, oh, she was doing coke. Did you see the way she put her nose into that napkin? And then what she was doing, it looked like she was blowing her nose, and she probably felt like a booger was hanging on. And have you ever blown your nose and felt like a booger was hanging on and ignored that fact and then looked in the mirror and a booger was hanging on? Gross and embarrassing. So I just think the whole thing is really crazy because I totally believe Johnny Depp. I love how the cosmetic company called out her lie. And my question is if the cosmetic company called out her lie, can't she be held in contempt for lying on the stand under oath? She purposely said, I used this makeup to cover up my bruises. And then the makeup company's like, we didn't start making this until this year. Like, not like this year, but they pointed out a year. And they were like, we didn't start making this until then. And that was after that happened. So, I mean, her case is completely falling apart. That's evident. But my problem is, why didn't you call her out on this? Why wasn't she held in contempt for lying, blatantly lying under oath? But I don't think she was doing court. I love how Johnny Depp just soft-spoken, nice and slow. It takes him an eon to get out a damn sentence. But you know what? It's awesome. It's probably the best thing ever. So I don't know. I've been finding it entertaining. I keep clicking in and out, in and out, in and out. But man, oh man, what an interesting trial this is. And I just think she's full of shit. Never mind the fact that, like, what would cause you to take a shit on a bed? You know what I mean? Like, what was that doing? You know? I don't know. It's crazy. Check it out. I think Johnny Depp is 100% innocent. I think she is an evil person, but I bet you she is a wild one in the sack. Because that's how that usually goes. I've had some wild ones in my life, and I'm not obviously with them anymore, but that's because, you know, it's good for that. But for everyday life, it's just a headache. It's craziness. You're up and down, up and down. So I don't know. Check it out. I guess they're all in court again today. I don't know how much longer the trial is. But I don't think she was snorting coke, and she should be held in contempt for lying on the stand, especially when something like that. That's evident. All right, my next one is Brendan Schaub. Yes, Brendan Schaub put out a new special. This guy's been doing comedy for 5 years. He's put out 2 specials so far. I've heard a lot of comics disagree with this, and I've heard a lot of comics agree. If you're doing it, do it. If you're going to push through, push through. But this has nothing to do with his stand-up. I liked his special. I thought it was good. I thought Gringo Poppy was fine. My wife was like, it wasn't the best thing in the world, but, it was listenable. And I'm talking about what's going on between Tiger Belly and Trash Tuesdays. Sorry, I don't remember the other podcasts. It's probably because I don't like many of the people on it. I know one of them is Bobby's girl there, Kalila. You got, what's her name from Kill Tony? Jesse Johnson, and Annie Letterman, I think. So I have been doing a lot of digging on this because I was very interested when last Sunday Tim Dillon came on and was like talking about Brendan Schaub, all of this, and he's like, shit's going on right now in the podcast world. And I was like, what is happening? Because he didn't really get into it. He didn't have information. He was just mentioning it. And I was like, what? Because I'm intrigued. So Trash Tuesdays, there was a thing where Annie Letterman said that she was getting hit on by Brendan Schaub. Now, I'm sorry. I find that extremely hard to believe. She's not an unattractive person by any means, but I don't find her that attractive. And what's happening is they were upset because he mentioned something. I don't think he was trying to get her to come in his truck, and I don't believe Brendan would do that. I mean, at the time, I know, and this is a stupid excuse, but he's married with 2 kids, right? And the reason I listen to Brendan Schaub is because I believe everything he says, right? For the most part, but his fighting, his personal life, all of that stuff going on. I like Brendan. I have been listening to him for years, and I believe when he says he's not doing something like that. I believe him. I don't believe her because I have a hard time believing her. But then again, personal reasons. So this happens, right? And a little bit of dust gets kicked up. They went into this very deeply on Tiger Belly, which is why I'm kind of regurgitating it because I just watched it and it was so good. They timeline it, everything on that episode. But now it's gone further because what was going on is this caused Reddit to send hateful things to Brendan Schaub and Thick Boy, and they were sending threats, stuff like that. Brendan found out through his team. His team was like, he had his team look into what was going on with this Reddit. And it turns out that one of the emails linked to all of this was coming from Tiger Belly. Now, this is where I disapprove of what Brendan and Brian Callen did. And they both have apologized, and I get it. Brendan went on to Tiger Belly to apologize for this. I get it. He's trying to put it behind him. That's fine. But this is something that's crazy because when I was listening to that podcast, Brendan's explaining all of this. He's putting it out there, and he's like, I had my team look into it, and then when we found out that the email was linked to you, we attacked. And that's where they went wrong. And they said that they went wrong there. And that's fine, but they did. They went in the wrong direction, because I'm sorry, if I ever had threatening emails that were linked to or Reddit threads that were linked to something from somebody I know very well, the last thing I'm going to do is freak out on them. And that's why I was kind of curious as to why they did. Because wouldn't you, if you had this happen, right, and you saw that somebody you know might be linked to this, my first thought was I should call them and be like, hey, we just dug through all of this, and your official email is tied to this. So he's telling Kalila and Bobby this, and he's going through everything. And then she's like, Kalila was like, oh, well, I've been asking for these 300 pages, right? For weeks, she says, and you will not give me these 300 pages. You will not give them to me. So Brendan explains, I can't give them to you. This is an open investigation. Now, Kalila is not believing him on certain parts. You can see it in her actions. She also said that he went to Rogan to talk shit about her, and she heard it from 3 reliable sources. Now, this is the part that I found interesting, because Brendan's like, as soon as we're done with the podcast, let's call up those 3 people so I can say my part and they can collaborate my story. He's like, because I did not go to Rogan to talk shit about you and Bobby. And she's like, well, I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. They're very reliable sources. But so Brendan's like, oh, great. After the podcast, let's give him a call, this and that. Then he's like, the 300 pages, well, this goes a lot more deeper than what you're thinking. I can't give you these pages because it's under an investigation that's out of my hands. I guess in the Reddit thread, it has been linked to trafficking, child pornography, and a couple other things. So he's like, I can show you what I have, right? Because it seems like what somebody did is they linked Tiger Belly to all of this to cover their own ass. And as soon as it went to the authorities, that email, that everything changed. It disappeared. And the authorities said, this makes it really hard to find out. But this is an open investigation, so you can't give these papers to them. And then while he's in the middle of this, she's like, well, is this really going to happen? And he's like, I'm telling you, it's on my phone right now. It's on my phone. I have to show, I just don't believe this is going to happen. She's like, I've just been, and you keep dodging. He's like, it's an open investigation. And then towards the end of the podcast, she's like, I just don't know what you're going to do to prove to me that, this is over, or you can't give me this stuff. And he's like, and he didn't say it. There was a little bit of back and forth, stuff like that. But the whole time I'm like, oh my God, Kalila, he just said, we're going to give the 3 people a phone call and collaborate the story, but yet still, all the way up until the end of the podcast, you're still telling him that you don't believe him, which is such bullshit, but you just don't know him, and that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Brendan's 100% correct, and he's not lying because I know him so well. That's false, too. But I do believe him. I don't think that he would just make this shit up. And then it's like she totally did not pay attention to when he said, hey, there is child pornography and trafficking, human trafficking attached to all of this. She just kept hearing him say, my team, my team, my team. And he brought up the feds at one point, and he's like, well, it's not the feds, but it is, I don't know, a fucking group, government-run group. I don't know. He accidentally said feds, so she stuck on that for a while. And then he kept calling it the team, but he was talking about his people. And then he said authorities at the end, because he was like, oh, maybe feds is too much. But all of this is so crazy. Could you imagine? And that was the thing. Like, Brendan flipped out on Kalila. He like got into a screaming match with her. They got off the phone. They were both heated. Said a whole bunch of shit. Bobby, when Brian found out, Brian called Bobby and screamed and yelled at Bobby. I mean, guys, what are you doing? Why? The first thing you should have done, and I'm sure you already know this because I'm sure you're both sitting there going, God, I wish this didn't go the way that it did. First thing you should have done was call him. Call him. Be like, hey, I got your email attached to a whole bunch of weird shit. What's going on? And then you could have worked together to get to the bottom of this. And maybe if you had just said, hey, I don't know what's going on, but this could be somebody on your team, well, then they would have been able to do an internal investigation before. But instead, these two flipped out on everybody, freaked out. And it was because Brendan's family was threatened. His kids were threatened. His wife was threatened. But do you actually think, like, Brian and Bobby were friends for over 30 years? And obviously, whatever Brian said to Bobby has ended their relationship. And whatever Brendan said to Kalila has made some ripples in their relationship as well. But now they are hopefully going to figure this out and get through it. But, I mean, that is insane to find out. You're getting all these death threats and all this other stuff. I'm going to kill your family. I'm going to do this, that, and this. And then you find out it's linked to somebody you know's email. And on top of that, it goes so deep that there's human trafficking, child trafficking, and child pornography tied into all of this. I just hope that they get to the bottom of it. But it's just a message for everybody out there, including myself. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. Ask questions first. And let the people know that this is happening first. Don't just assume. Never assume, because when you assume something, you make an asshole out of both of us, right? So, crazy shit going on in the podcast world. I really do hope they figure it out. I thought at first, to be honest with you, I really did think that Bobby was in the wrong. And man, after listening to I think it was 3 different podcasts. The only one I didn't listen to was the H3 podcast, where that guy, I don't remember his name, but he brought up the question to Kalila and Bobby, and it was like he didn't tell him he was doing it, and she had no problem talking about it, and I guess that's where it got started and kind of brought it back up. But man, wild, huh? But that just goes to show you, don't flip out at your close friends and family, because at the end of the day, they're all you have. And when you do something like this, it ruins that relationship. Could you imagine? I could never imagine ruining my 30-year relationship with one of my friends. And I've only got 2 friends that I've been friends with for like 30 years. That's a crazy relationship. You guys been through so much. And I don't think Bobby's going to throw it away 100%, but he was, he made it sound like he was definitely done with Brian. So I don't know, man. It's so crazy, but, oh, and I didn't get to it. I had a comment from last week that asked me if I was open to God, waiting for Jesus Christ, and would accept God. And my answer is no. So I wanted to clarify that. To that person sending me that comment, thank you. Thank you for putting in the comment. I appreciate it so much. But I will tell you no. I do not believe, and I think religion is a waste of time. Too many people have shed blood, killed, and abandoned their own children because of something that we don't even know if it's real. Well, God won't love you anymore because you're gay. God doesn't love you because you don't believe in God. God won't save your life because you didn't confess. And I think we all just need to live our own lives and be the best that we can be. And that's enough. Because I'm telling you right now, if this shit ain't over after this, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed. I don't want anything after this. I'm done. Check me out. See you later. I don't want to float around as a ghost. I don't want to go sit up in the clouds. I don't even want to go under the ground. I don't want any of it. Once this is over, I want it to be over. That seems to be the best. Oh, man. But yeah, so thank you for the comment. I greatly appreciate it. And keep them coming, all right? That's the podcast today. Again, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you, all my subscribers. Thank you so much. If you're new to the podcast, remember to subscribe. Please, it's the only thing I'm asking you to do, all right? I need to get to 1,000 subscribers. Share, all right? Make friends in the comment sections. All of that keeps me coming back week after week. If you want to get more involved with the podcast, send me an email, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Put slowdown in the subject line, give you an opportunity to get some free slowdown merch. And again, that is talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And of course, I'm on social media. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. Again, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. And of course, I hope everybody out there has a great Thursday. Be kind to one another. Enjoy your weekend. And as always, I will talk to you later. I'll talk to you later.